Forget to talk about.
Hi, and welcome everyone to the End of Life Journey and Beyond, the Sands of Time. My name is Lisa Strahs-Lorenc, and I'm a bereavement support specialist. Hello, Susan. Nice to see you.
Hi, Lisa. Nice to see you as well. Hope your Thanksgiving, Lisa and I, that it's not easy. In fact, it's very difficult. It's going to be a very dark day. And even if the sun is shining outside and it's bright inside my house, there's some kind of cloud that's over me and my brain and my thoughts, even now, several years later. So
Yeah, it
it's
doesn't
these
really matter.
days, you have to put your foot in front of the other, right? And find the good in the day. Even the fact that you woke up and can breathe and have something in there for breakfast in the morning. So today we want to talk about some different ways, some powerful ways that you can choose joy and on those days when you need it most. Right?
And again, we want to emphasize that this is after a loss, and it doesn't matter time, whether we're talking about months or years, because it's still the same kind of loss. And people do feel that. I'll describe it as a curtain, a black curtain that sort of
Yeah.
comes over people
Right.
and prevents people from seeing, anything else from it. Now, next week, I will say that we want to concentrate on living in the present, especially for people who have a terminal diagnosis and focusing on present day. But today we're going to talk about finding joy in some ways that will help you get through and move onward or
Right.
forward, I guess some people say. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, because
Okay.
they are two different entities.
They are.
Feeling in the present moment before you either yourself, the individual, has that terminal diagnosis and passes away, or for your family member during that time. It's a much different time than after you've lost someone. And time's going on, and the world's going on all around you. The days are going on. People are living their lives and doing the things they used to do, but you just can't.
Yeah, the first thing I thought of actually when my husband died, and he had been sick a while and he went through 15 months of, suffering and all. The first thing I thought of when I woke up that next morning was, I don't understand why the trees are still green and the sky is blue. It just seemed like my world had
That's a
changed.
perfect analogy. That's a perfect analogy because I felt the same thing. And these are valid kind of feelings. So choosing joy may not be relevant to somebody who's just recently lost a significant person in their life over the last week or two or three. We're talking
Or even,
about a little bit past that,
yes, I
because
would say,
it's on the days that you start to wonder and think, my
yeah,
gosh, I am never going to feel normal again. I'll never feel
yes.
happiness or joy again.
Yes. I would say it's past at least the 3-month period, because in 3 months, you're still dealing with paperwork and you're trying to figure out things. I mean, even just going to the store and the routines that you had, everything is different. Everything has changed. So it's beyond that. It's when you're trying to pull your life back together again and have a life again, that
Or maybe you
isn't,
don't even see the possibility of having the life,
that's right. That's
being
right.
so stuck in these weeks and months, which is valid. Of course, you're going to go through that process, but not seeing, how am I ever going to smile again?
Yeah.
How am I ever going to feel that joy or that simple feeling of being happy and feeling good,
Or even just
getting
being
that old
alive.
you back.
How about being alive? How about being grateful to just be alive? It's huge.
And it's hard. And I want to be a little honest here. Well, I'm honest in all my videos, but I want to be a little vulnerable here and say, and I know you can attest to this, Lisa, and say that it's no easy fix. It isn't. Years and years have gone by, several years for me, and I still go through these emotions. It doesn't completely go away. It
Yeah.
doesn't, but knowing how to handle it, knowing when that wave is coming in again, or that storm is over your head again, I can see that now. I couldn't see that at the very beginning, but I can see, oh no, this is not going to be a good day for me. And what can I do to simple little things to counteract that?
Mhm.
And that's what we're talking about today.
Right.
How to bring those simple ways to maybe bring joy in for just today, just the moment.
Mhm.
How to be more present to be able to do this, present and mindful, right?
Right. That's right.
So I'd say, Lisa, start out with a morning routine, because
Okay.
I have always known when I wake up feeling good in the morning and this will be a good day and I've got this. And yeah, things can change, right?
Sure.
By this afternoon, who knows? But you wake up feeling like, okay, I've got this today, versus getting out of bed with the tears in your eyes,
Yeah.
or feeling just completely miserable and don't bother me today. I want to be alone and shut the lights out. And you kind of know when you get out of bed in the morning. Would you agree with that, Lisa?
Sure. It's gonna be an okay day. It's not gonna be an okay day. Yeah.
Right. So maybe start your days with a little bit of a routine. Maybe it could be, not everybody is spiritual, so I can't speak for everybody. A lot of people are, though, maybe something spiritual. And if it's not a religious type of book or the Bible, it could be just a book with affirmations, with feel good things. Look for something like this. Go to a
Hmm.
bookstore, look around, see what floats your boat, open it up and say, ooh, that makes me feel mentally light or mentally good. And I need more of this education here, or value.
Hmm.
So find something that does that for you. You could light a candle, you could do some deep breathing, whether it's 3 minutes or 20 minutes. Just sit and mindfully breathe before you start your reading. And you've turned this into a routine now. Now, not everybody could do this because they have to go to work, so you're rushing in the morning, but maybe it will take getting up 15 minutes early. Getting up 15 minutes early, try that, because so many people that I've listened to in the past that purposely create that little bit of time before they start their crazy day, even if it's locking yourself in the bathroom while you're doing it, find it so valuable in their lives. Like, oh, that 15 minutes becomes their sanctuary. And I love that. And it feels good. And that 15 minutes now becomes 30 minutes or 45 minutes, right? And it's all about starting your day on a right note. Could it be, Lisa, just making that delicious cup of coffee and sitting somewhere special and reflecting, right? It could be something as simple as that, but I think that morning routine to start your day might be something that you could put into practice.
For me, it's a plan. I just think that if you have a bit of a plan so that it's just not so out there, I think that when it's just haphazard,
Yeah.
that we become confused and we don't have any sense of,
Schedule.
yeah, yeah. I
I
think a
get that.
plan. Yeah, I think a plan of any type that helps you sort of get into some kind of routine or something. It's when there's nothingness that it becomes so overwhelming.
Oh, you're so
So,
right. And we've talked about that in many videos, all about, we call it pre-planning,
mhm,
right? All about that pre-plan. And that could be a plan in itself on how I can change my morning routine.
yeah, yeah,
Maybe, depending where you live, that morning routine could be a 15-minute walk.
yeah,
All right, let's call it 20. 10 minutes there, look at your clock, turn around 10 minutes back.
mhm,
That can maybe change your world over the next few months, but you
sure,
don't know until you give these things a try, I think.
yeah,
Right?
agreed, agreed.
Right.
Okay.
Another thing I thought of was I like lists, especially when I'm working, because as an entrepreneur, things can get crazy. So I have a list that I check things off constantly once I get them completed, and it compartmentalizes them for me in my own brain, and knowing what I have to do that week or the next. I always have a list around. So I'm suggesting here to keep a list nearby, of the good things in your life,
Mhm, mhm,
right? Because even though you're going through all these struggles and feelings and emotions, we all still have some little good things in our lives, right?
and including family and friends and people who care about us deeply. Yeah. And
Right.
sometimes we take that for granted, you know, but they're there. They're there with us.
You know, maybe having a beautiful bubble bath in your home that you never use. I mean, that's just an example of a good thing. That's a good thing that we don't think about often, but purposely sit with a pen and pad and make a list of some of the good things. You know, a good thing in my life might be that I have beauty outside my back door and I could sit at that little table and have tea in the morning. That's a good thing.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
so think about the things that are good in your life right now, in this
Yeah.
present day, in this present moment.
Yep. Great.
What about another, here's another list. Things that um things that you can do to fill your day with joy, right? That's another good one.
It's hard to get in touch with joy, as we said from the beginning. And so I think you have to really dig deep and figure out what you relate to, or what gives you some kind of emotions that's a positive. It,
Yeah.
it's real hard to get maybe to that joy place. But if you could just try and figure out some of the things you enjoyed, and figure out how to
Oh, that's
move
good. I
from
like
there.
that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. And little things.
yeah,
They
yeah,
don't have to be big things.
yeah.
Little things that have brought you joy in the past. Every year at Christmas time, Hershey's comes out with a Hershey Kiss that's white chocolate with the peppermint swirls in it.
Yes.
So that I've been doing, I've been buying a bag only at Christmas time, and it's usually one bag. I can manage to get through with one bag. But every year for Christmas for 20 years now, I buy that one bag. I put a few out in a bowl, but I try not to do that because I don't want anybody else to my kisses.
Yeah.
Luckily, my two boys though don't like them.
Okay. Good.
So I keep them in the freezer, right? And then at night, it's like a treat. It brings me joy. I pull out two of these peppermints. I'll have a cup of chai tea or something really good with it. I'll look at the Christmas tree. And that's something that fills me with joy. You know, that taste, you know, the smell of my tea. The So even if you're looking for little things to fill that list, you can find those little things.
Yeah.
You know,
Nice.
we've all had joy in our lives at different points. It's a matter of thinking about them, though. I made one of these lists. I made one of these lists not recently. I would say when, you know, the people in my life who've passed when they were all alive, actually, because that's how long ago it was.
Mm,
And it was on a legal pad, and it was 2 pages. You know, the front of one and the front of the other. And they were all such good things that fill my life with joy. When I have clean sheets on my bed, I love that first night. That's a good feeling. When I light all my candles in the living room at night, oh my gosh, that gives me such great ambiance when I'm relaxing. Um, Different things like that. And I managed to fill up the smells of certain things. I love lilacs.
mm.
You know, they smell so good, and freesia and gardenia. So I filled this list. And I've been thinking about it lately because in the shuffle of moving offices and, you know, boxes through the years, it's gone somewhere. But I
Mm.
think about it often that I wish I could knew where to go right now and pull that out because I want to see those all of those little things that brought me so much joy. Unfortunately, if I don't find it, I'll have to start and make my new list again. But I want to. I want to make that list so I can look back on it and say, "Oh yes, that makes me feel really, really good." Right? So
I
it's a
like
good
that.
tool.
I like that with a vision board. I think a vision board, not future, but the present things that you enjoy and that really makes you feel great. I think those things
That's
are
perfect.
really, yeah, vision. And it's so much fun to cut out these pictures and put them onto something, and they represent you. You look at it and you say, "Wow, that's me. That's what I love."
And
I think,
I realized I have many vision boards from over the past. And I started out just doing them on, the canvas boards that you can buy in Michael's.
yes,
Then I wanted to do a little smaller ones, so I got an art book that you can open the pages, and I did a few on that. But now I know, and I haven't, I did actually do one, but not after that. But for people who are digitally savvy now, they
yeah,
have many websites, or you can just use your own WordPad documents,
sure,
and you could build them online as well
sure.
if you
Make
don't
a
have
collage.
magazines and things like that.
Yeah, but I do like it hanging, and I do like it being very present for
Visual.
people. Yes, because
Sure.
that they can really relate to it more, and see it right there in front of them. Yeah,
And that's just like the sign,
it
I
is.
choose
That's
joy
right.
to,
That's right.
because it's right there and I see it when I come out of my bedroom and I walk through the living room. And even if I'm not feeling it, when I look at that sign and read it, I stand up a little taller and for that moment say, yes,
Yeah,
yes, I can choose to feel joy today,
yes,
even if I'm not feeling it. Because honestly, isn't it a mindset, Lisa? It's a
it is.
mindset.
It is a mindset. It
It
is.
is a mindset. Um,
Let me add
yeah.
that we may feel a little guilty feeling some joy, and we need to understand that that's normal. Some people feel that way because they feel, why am I, having some better feelings? But in time, you learn to accept that because there's all the ups and downs, sort of like a roller coaster thing. So it is really okay to feel all those feelings and all, and to let all the natural feelings come in. Okay. It's like when people say to me, "Oh my goodness, if I cry, I'm going to fall apart and I'm never going to put myself together again." And I would say to them, "No, that's not true. It's okay to cry. And guess what? You're probably going to feel better after you do." And that's true, by the way, because all this pent up stuff that they feel, and the feeling of, "Oh, I can't express this, I can't do that." All of a sudden they feel a sense of relief. And they did put themselves back together again, by the way. They're fine. But there's this like feeling of, I can't. So I just wanted to add that.
And it's scary and
It is
and
scary.
it's
It is,
overwhelming,
it is
and we know this, and we're not trying to make light out of this choosing joy thing,
yep.
because it won't, I don't want to say it won't work for everyone, because it should work for everyone. It should, and it could, and it can bring healthy benefits into your life if you mindfully try and work on the choices, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and so that choice is really interesting because if you don't think that you deserve to feel that way, you
Mm-hmm.
may not allow yourself to feel that way. So I think that's interesting. And I do say to people, what would you have said to that person if you were the one who was going to pass? You would have said to
Mm-hmm.
them, choose happiness, choose joy. I want you to live your life. That's what they would say. And I'm sure you would say that, just like I know that my husband said to me, "I don't want you to live alone the rest of your life." And that's what he said to me. So, same thing. You're allowed to be happy or find happiness and joy. You're allowed.
I'm so happy you brought that up, because that's so significant for so many people.
I know it is. I know
It
it
is.
is.
And it's hard. Some of this conversation's hard for us, but we do it
Yes,
because we know that it can help you. It
that's
can
right.
help you even in a small way. You might hear some tiny nugget in this conversation that will make you think twice about
Yes.
something moving forward. And
Yeah.
that's why we do what we do.
Yeah.
Um, Another way to choose joy, and I know we've talked about this in past videos, Lisa, is volunteering, stepping outside
Hmm.
of your own box, helping another. I mean, one of the things that when I first began to suffer my losses, I had friends across the street from me, and I had known them, for 25 years at that point, living across the street from them, and they were older. Now here comes the point where they're hitting 90. Now they both passed away at 99 and just a couple weeks apart. But it was during those last 10 years especially that I needed to step outside of my box in certain ways, and I would say nope, I'd have to take a minute during my day or 5 minutes or an hour, and I would go across the street. I would go across the street. I made sure they had flowers on their table
Nice.
every week during the last few years on
Wow.
their kitchen table.
Wow. How
I
beautiful.
would bring them over something to eat. If I was making a meal here, I'd make a little extra and bring something over. But more importantly, I was giving them time. They look forward to seeing me. And it got them out of their box
Sure.
of not being able to get in the car and go anywhere anymore. They
Sure.
looked forward to when I came in. I mean, one or two nights a week, and don't tell anybody this, but I sat in front of the TV watching WWF or WWE now, right? Wrestling.
Uh-huh.
And his wife liked it as much as him. They knew they followed them all for years and years. So that was their thing. So no, I didn't watch it when my kids had it on in the house, but when I went across the street to visit my friends and they had it on, I'd sit right there and cheer on these guys with them because it brought them happiness. And guess what? That took me outside of my box.
Win-win.
It
Win-win.
was a
To be outside
win-win.
yourself. How wonderful.
Win-win. It took
Yeah.
me outside of my box. It took me outside of my mind,
Yeah.
my thoughts, and I was giving pleasure to
Yes.
somebody else, to
Yes.
something else. It's another situation, is what I'm saying. So maybe you don't have a neighbor that you can do this for. Well, I bet you can find one.
I bet you could.
I bet you could, and you can make friends with people. When I was out, walking every day in the neighborhood over there, a little ways from me, but I would walk through their neighborhood. It was safer. And there were two different women that I know that they were single elderly women. And they worked outside in their yards all the time, and they would stop and smile and want to chit chat. And you can make friends like
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
and I always want, and then I don't see one around. I don't see one coming out anymore, and that makes me sad. But there are ways to meet people and to be able to help. And if it's not in your own neighborhood or family or friend, maybe it could be in a volunteer effort.
There are
So
plenty of organizations. And let me just
you know
mention
this firsthand.
yeah, I do. Volunteer Match actually is an online and will match you. You write down the things that you can do and what you're willing to, where to go and how many times, and they'll match you with things and they'll make suggestions. So volunteermatch.com. And I think that's all over the country. I don't think it's just here. So that's something to check out. Yeah, it's a
Absolutely.
wonderful way
Thank
of,
you for adding that.
sure,
And being joyful in some small ways can add to your life tremendously. It adds years to your health
sure it does.
here on this earth.
It
Um,
does.
and we're here for a reason. We all have our own journeys. In my healing garden, I have one rock that's my favorite in that bowl, and it says, "Trust your journey."
Mm,
And I put that in many of the different theme bowls, whether it's a cancer diagnosis or a grief bowl or pet loss, whatever it may be, because no matter what kind of situation that we're in our lives, and many different challenges we all face, I
sure.
feel like trust your journey is huge.
Mm,
We all need to trust our own journey. For the person who's passed, that was their journey.
that's right.
It was, and I feel that they knew this coming into the world. We all have our different beliefs, and Lisa and I try not to bring them here to our channel, but I really believe that we come in knowing that we're here to learn certain things and grow and have challenges before it's time for us to go back. And I got to tell you, go back home, really. But I have to tell you that by believing that has helped me tremendously through all the loss that I've suffered. And it's been a lot of loss, which has led me to being here with Lisa today. But it
I
has,
know a lot of people who faith has really helped them get through, period.
yeah,
That's been their mantra. And whatever works for somebody,
that's right.
whatever brings them, some kind of um, relief. And
Should be your thing.
yeah,
It
that's
should
right.
be your thing, no matter what it is, and don't let
That's
anybody
right.
tell you what that is.
That's right.
Because if it does bring that little feeling of joy inside of you, it can bring other blessings into your life
Yes.
along the way. More opportunities, more successes in your
Yes.
personal and business life or whatever. It can bring all those good things. Choosing joy isn't just, it's not a choice, like we said before. It really is a mindset.
Yeah, it
You
is.
really need to be brave. You need to be brave in order to grow. But you can do this by choosing little pieces of joy along the way. You
I
know,
think of the steps, I think you just don't look at the big overwhelming picture. You look at step by step and how to go through each day and each time and just don't look at the big picture because that's scary, really scary. Where am I going to go? Where am I going to live? What am I going to?
oh my
No,
gosh,
no, 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 no.
that fear is
Yeah,
just so
that's fear.
overwhelming.
That's right. That's right. It is. It is.
But
So,
it
yeah,
again, it's in the mindset, it's in your mindset. Think back to happy times, that always helps,
it does.
right? Think back, bring some of those to the present day. Think back to those happy times. And we can't cure everything that ails
Nope.
us. We can't.
Nope.
If that's impossible, we're human beings. We have these challenges, but we can absolutely choose something a little bit more joyful in this present moment versus being in that bubble,
That's right.
you
That's
know,
right.
and not wanting to feel anything.
Yeah, that's right. So,
Sorry about this little dog
okay.
in the background.
Okay. It's all right. I do. It's all right.
I'm going to
Um,
mute here for a second if you want to close us out today, Lisa.
that's all right. You're fine. You're fine. Are there any other points that you and I wanted to make? I think the other thing is to seek out people. It's so easy to be isolated and keep yourself sort of by yourself. And if you just try to seek out people who really do care about you and believe me, they're trying to figure out what do I say, what do I do, what do I, how do I help? And just even saying, hey, I just want to hear your voice. I just wanted to meet you for lunch. Whatever it is. But those people really do want to be a help to you and a support to you. So I think everybody should needs to remember that there are people in their lives for reasons, seasons, whatever else the poem is, and make sure that they, um, you know, take advantage of that as well. Because you would be there for them, wouldn't you? Yes, yes, you would. So, okay,
Absolutely. My
absolutely. Okay,
mailman at the door, and that's not going to stop.
yes, that's all
So
right.
I'm
That's all
very
right.
grateful
That's
that
all
I
right.
have this beautiful day to get
Yes,
mail and to
yes.
have my dog here today.
That's fine. That's fine. They know
I
we're
did
not in
mute
some
for a couple
they
seconds.
know we're not in some studio, and that's absolutely fine. Why don't you tell them a little bit about the legacy book? 'Cause that's such a beautiful gift.
Sure. And think about this during the holidays. Our stories and experiences are so valuable. And our stories are meant to educate future generations, especially the generations we're not going to get a chance to meet.
That's right.
And honestly, I wish that I had this book that I produce um, in my life about my great great grandmother or my great great grandfather. Was I like them? Did I look like them? Did I do some of the things? Did we like the same things? Are we in the same professions? And to know these things gives an individual confidence, and safety and security in knowing that we're all part of a much bigger world
Yeah.
than we know, and that life does go on and we
Yes.
do come full circle. And this was the summary of their lives. So that's what I do. It gives me such joy and fulfillment in being able to help an individual to build this for their families. So it's a 4-week project, about 10 hours of video, locally on Long Island, nationwide over Zoom. And I take all the audio, your audio, and weave it together with your photos into a beautiful story and summary of your life. I do work with healthy and vibrant people who have their stories to leave as well. And then I offer this to people with a diagnosis, maybe 8, 10, 12 months. So we have time to work on this and make it a complete, full treasure for their families and for the generations they'll never get a chance to meet. So contact me at the phone number above or on my website, and I'll be happy to give you more information.
What a
Yeah.
beautiful gift.
Oh,
That's a
thank you.
beautiful gift.
It's so
Yes.
amazing.
Yes. Yes.
Amazing.
So I'm currently running a support group for people to talk about loss during the holidays and all the hubbub about the holidays and being happy and all that stuff and getting through this time period. And I also go to other groups and do, widowers groups and things like that to talk about not only getting through the loss, but moving forward
Yes,
and still celebrating our loved ones, never
this
forgetting.
offers such value, so if your organization even is looking for something a little bit outside the box and handling loss and when we grieve our loved ones, Lisa does speaking engagements as well. So reach
Thank
out
you.
anytime. I think and I hope that this video was pretty valuable today, Lisa. I think
Yeah.
we gave some good tips and information on just trying to bring a little bit of joy
Yes.
into a time where you don't think that's possible
Yes.
or
Yes.
that you'll never see it again moving forward.
Yes. Yes. And
Because
just
we
take it
promise
slow, everybody. Take
you
it
will.
slow.
Take it.
Yes. Yes.
And
All
we'll
right.
see you next week.
See you next week. All right. Take care.
Bye.